I don't know what happened while I was talking. It just cut off, and all I did was press stop sharing. I didn't know it was gonna like cut off completely. So I'm back, and I wanted to continue sharing with you guys how amazing this is going to be, and how I was so blessed to have a community of people around me that built up my love and love for myself, my love for God when I was growing in the spirit at my church. And I'm just so grateful because all these societal expectations that hold us down and make us feel like we can't do what it is that we need to do because we feel like we never measure up to those expectations, we are going to be set free from all of that. Once you get this book, once you get a copy of this, please email me your testimony because when you read this, God is going to visit you. And if you don't know what a visitation is, it means that you will feel the powerful presence of God. You will feel it either in your skin. You'll feel it in your skin, tingles. Some people feel tingles. Some people feel it in their heart, like a softness, like a sweetness in their heart, a peace in their heart. They feel like their mind is settled. They feel whole on the inside. And sometimes it brings about tears. It brings about emotions that make you feel like praising the Lord. When we're praying in the spirit, we're often praising God. So why am I talking about all of this? Because this book has come from, and this book is all about the women out there. And I thought to myself, how can I be as vulnerable, as transparent? And that is by telling you my story from where I began. And how I found God was that I did not feel accepted in society, not by the African community, not by African American community. When I say African community, I mean the Nigerian community because I'm Nigerian. Hallelujah. I'm Nigerian. I'm from Calabar. So I did not feel adequate as an African at that time. And with that being said, I didn't have all the amazing ability to use my African accent. I wasn't perfect at it, and I didn't feel like I could fit in and I could make jokes. I could laugh at their jokes and hang out with them, but I never felt like I was embraced in that community. And then African American, sometimes I felt like I wasn't I wasn't as seen as more urban, or I wasn't using enough slang. I wasn't aware of the fashion choices they had at that time. So it looked like I was behind in the culture and stuff. So all of the book really addresses the things that I struggled with. I don't really talk about African or African American, that part, but I did talk about how I felt like I was fighting between two identities as an adult woman who just really wants to have kids, get married someday, and then you have the powerful, fiery minister of God, how I want to make sure I was on fire for God and living clean, living holy. And when I didn't meet up to either of those, I felt like I was lost. And God came and held me in his arms and said, you are in Kese. You are just in Kese. You are in Kese. And that is the most important thing about all of this. Everything, every single experience that makes up who you are is how I'm going to use you. You don't have to meet up to these expectations. You don't have to fit in with anyone in any community. You just get to be you, and you stand out already. Being 5'10" and a testifier, always testifying to the goodness of God, to the financial testimonies, wonderful things that go on in my life. That is me. The woman who was always trying to be happy for the reason of, I'm just grateful to be alive. You know what I mean? And God has been just so good to me in my life. I can't walk around depressed. I can't do it anymore. And it's just an amazement how he simplifies his love in this book, how he just breaks you to pieces with a softness. Such a softness comes about because you're like, wow, I just didn't know how to embrace that he loved me. I didn't realize how much he loved me. And I sat there trying to edit the book, and I'm in tears because I'm like, God, I feel like I need to tell you again, saved my life. Come back. Let me come back to you. Let me really, really, really rehearse what you're sharing. I'm reciting the book. I'm playing passages of the book while I'm at work. Like, I'm literally listening to it as an audio, because there's like apps where you can copy and paste the text and then put it onto an app and it'll read the book for you on Adobe. The Acrobat Pro, you can actually have the book read out loud to you. But I am going to make an audiobook. I plan on it. It probably will be next year, because that's going to be a very long project. But I'm so excited. And I call the book in short TWL, right? Because, to the woman I love, because when I was editing, I had to do, I had to make a lot of documents. I had to create a lot of documents. So after a while, you can't just put "to the woman I love, you are enough" every time. So I had to like shorten it. And I'm like, oh, we should make TWL shirts. And then we're going to do a conference around it. I just love this because it's all inspiration from me creating that 30-day challenge of Notes to Self, where we go and we improve the relationship we have with ourselves, and we encourage I encourage the women to change their mindset about their future, about their destiny. Start to ask themselves, what are my goals? What is my purpose? And what am I meant to do? And how do I get it done? And God began to speak to us. He began to speak to them individually in their time of writing their journal. And I was like, God, you did more than I could ever ask for. I thought this was going to be like amazing self-help for them and building up their faith in who they are. But God did so much more than I ever thought or could imagine. And in there's an altar call.